Amid the glittering lights of Hollywood's golden age, the childlike faces that once melted hearts, worldwide innocent smiles, clear voices, eyes shining under the camera's glow. They were symbols of faith, of the American dream of a childhood that seemed destined to live forever on the silver screen. Yet, when the lights went out, that childhood was bent to serve profit. Some were pressured by studios to take medications for years. Some had their earnings taken by their own parents. And some were lost under murky circumstances, buried beneath files marked unknown cause. In today's video, let's look back at 20 child stars of Hollywood's golden age angels, who once shone brightly, then disappeared into the very shadows cast by their own fame. 1. Judy Garland, told to use weight control medications at 13. In 1930s, Hollywood MGM didn't just create legends. It created machines that could sing and smile, but were not allowed to be sad. Among them, Judy Garland was the brightest child and the one most exhausted by the system. In 1935, 13-year-old Frances Gumm was renamed Judy Garland by studio boss Louis B. Mayer. He said, "Frances isn't dazzling enough for the screen." From that moment, Judy's childhood ended. She entered a world where her weight, her sleep, and even her breathing belonged to the studio. Each morning, MGM's private doctor injected her with Benzedrine, a strong stimulant that kept her alert for 20 hours. When shooting wrapped, she was required to take the barbiturate second to knock her out quickly and wake early for the next call. According to co-star Deanna Durbin, Judy's meals were once limited to cabbage soup and black coffee with a diuretic. While filming The Wizard of Oz in 1939, she was only 16. Director Victor Fleming demanded she be slimmer than Dorothy in the book, so an MGM assistant handed her Dexedrine each morning. She lost 5 kilograms in 2 weeks and repeatedly fainted on set. A lighting technician recalled seeing her hands tremble while singing Somewhere Over the Rainbow. The worst came later. Her nervous system collapsed from dependency on sedatives, while Mayer still called her a money-printing machine that sings. Failed marriages followed director Vincente Minnelli, producer Sid Luft, each benefiting from Judy's star power, yet none staying when she crumbled. In 1950, The Hollywood Reporter ran the headline, "Judy Garland collapses for the 3rd time in a week." MGM still hasn't halted the contract. On June 22, 1969, a housekeeper found Judy unresponsive in the bathroom at the Dogan Hotel, London. The inquest concluded sedative toxicity accidental. She passed at 47 after 34 years of being sustained by Hollywood through medication. But Judy's tragedy was only the beginning for another generation. Children praised on stage, then abandoned in real life. 2. Billy Laughlin, the chuckling boy. Taken by fate on the street in 1940s Hollywood. As the world recovered after war, a tiny boy with blonde hair and a sunrise smile unexpectedly became America's joy. His name was Billy Laughlin, who played Froggy in the classic kids comedy series Our Gang, also known as The Little Rascals. Billy was only 8 when he joined the series. His voice was so raspy and unusual that director Edward Kahn built a character around it. He didn't act. He was simply himself, and audiences loved it. On screen, Billy was the cheerful boy who made people laugh with his one-of-a-kind voice. In reality, he was shy and thin, often teased at school for sounding like a sick grown-up. His mother, Charlotte Laughlin, recalled in a 1951 interview he didn't like hearing his voice. Every time the film came on TV, he turned it off. He just wanted to be a normal kid again. When Our Gang ended, Billy was only 12. No films, no contracts. Hollywood forgot him almost instantly. The family left Culver City for the suburbs of California and lived quietly. Billy wasn't cast again despite sending auditions to more than 12 studios. Each reply said he grew up too fast and wasn't as cute as before. A child star's youth ended even before people realized it had once shown. In the summer of 1948, 16-year-old Billy asked his mother to let him try a new Cushman scooter lent by neighbor John Wilbrand. It was the afternoon of August 31st, blazing sun. Mission Boulevard, La Puente, California, was then a narrow highway without a divider. A large delivery truck was making a left turn. The driver, later identified as 23-year-old Lee Kacken, stated he didn't see the small vehicle. The three-tonne truck took the lives of both Billy and John. The impact crushed the scooter's front end. Billy did not survive. John was severely injured but lived. There was no criminal case, no trial, only a brief line in the Los Angeles Times on September 2nd of 1948. Former child star William Laughlin, 16, killed in scooter accident. No further mentions. The same Hollywood that once laughed with him was silent, as if it had never known his name. There was no memorial, no wreath from MGM, only Billy's mother standing in Rose Hills Memorial Park looking at her son's grave, telling a Daily News reporter, "He once made the whole country laugh." But no one cried for him. Billy died at 16, the very age when most Hollywood child stars begin facing even greater tragedies: dependency, depression, exploitation, or crushing loneliness. Had Billy not left so soon, he might still have been pushed into that same harsh cycle where Hollywood nurtures talent with pressure and trades you for pills. A decade later, the tragedy repeated, this time with a young man hailed as the new James Dean of the 9 South, who collapsed on a nightclub sidewalk. His name was River Phoenix. 3. River Phoenix, a genius who collapsed on the nightclub sidewalk. On the night of October 31st, 1993, Sunset Boulevard blazed with light. Outside the Viper Room, a young man collapsed, losing control. His name was River Phoenix, once called America's most promising actor by People magazine. Born in 1970 in Oregon, River grew up in an insular community called Children of God. His family traveled across South America singing on streets to earn money. In 1982, they moved to California. The clear-eyed 12-year-old was quickly cast by director Rob Reiner in Stand By Me, a performance that brought audiences to tears. At 17, he earned an Oscar nomination for Running on Empty. Vanity Fair called him the first true genius of the MTV generation. Behind the fame was profound fatigue. River told Esquire, "I hate parties. I just want to walk in the woods." But Hollywood wouldn't leave him alone. Friends Johnny Depp, Keanu Reeves' Flea said River was often pulled in to manage unwinding after shoots. At those gatherings, alcohol and prohibited substances were laid out like decor. On the final night, River went to the Viper Room, part owned by Johnny Depp, with girlfriend Samantha Mathis. According to the LAPD report, he had taken a mix of prohibited and sedative substances within an hour. At 1:35 a.m., he lost control and fell on the sidewalk. His brother, Wen Phoenix, called 911 in panic. When paramedics arrived, River's heart had already stopped. The coroner recorded levels of morphine and other substances 8 times above a safe threshold. The incident prompted the Los Angeles Times to launch the series Hollywood's Secret Dependency. At the funeral, director Peter B. Danovich said River didn't leave because of something illicit alone, but because of an industry that doesn't know when to stop. People still leave flowers outside the Viper Room every Halloween. River's story became a symbol of lost innocence, a moment when Hollywood looked at itself yet had not changed. 4. Dorothy Dandridge, a trailblazing star facing barriers. Before Halle Berry or Angela Bassett, there was Dorothy Dandridge, the first black woman to step into true stardom. But if her path dazzled on screen, it was just as dark off it. Dorothy was born in 1922 in Cleveland, Ohio, to a poor family. Her mother, singer Ruby Dandridge, raised 2 daughters performing in clubs for black audiences. At just 12, Dorothy was forced to entertain at private events for the wealthy places, where people treated a beautiful child as a novelty. She rarely spoke of it, later telling a friend, "Only I learned how to smile even when I wanted to cry." In 1954, Otto Premier's Carmen Jones premiered. Dorothy became a global star overnight. But behind the scenes, her relationship with Premier turned fraud. He was both a romantic partner and the man steering her career, pushing her to refuse other roles to protect an elegant image. While he stayed married, the Hollywood Confidential portrayed Dorothy as Hollywood's brown-skinned mistress. Her peak was also her abyss. In 1955, Dorothy was denied entry to a Las Vegas hotel despite headlining the show. She had to change in the parking lot. Life magazine shot a photo of her sitting alone in a Cadillac Eyes Hollow, a picture that became an emblem of bias in Hollywood. In her last years, Dorothy was trapped in debts. Her manager took her earnings, her daughter was placed in special care, and Preager left her. On September 8, 1965, Dorothy was found in her West Hollywood living room, a half-full glass still in hand, the ruling overdose of antidepressant. A 1966 Los Angeles Herald-Examiner investigation, however, suggested she fell into the fireplace after losing balance. An end both senseless and heartbreaking. Dorothy Dandridge once sang, "I can't stop loving the world that doesn't love me back." One line, one farewell for every spirit drained by Hollywood. Yet still smiling. 5. Corey Haim exploited by power and alone at 38. In the mid-1980s, Corey Haim was America's craze. Curly-haired dimples, innocent gaze, he was the idol of every teen magazine. Few knew that behind the frenzied autograph lines stood a 14-year-old enduring what Hollywood preferred not to see. While filming The Lost Boys in 1986, Haim lived in Santa Cruz with the production. There,